Hello guys, it's TPM5 and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be previewing the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Los Angeles Clippers, the Battle of LA. So I'm going to start with the Lakers, move on to the Clippers, and then give you a prediction towards the end of the video. Without further ado, let's get started. The LA Lakers currently sit 7th in the Western Conference with a record of 12 and 11. They've struggled, at the start of the year, hovering around that 500 kind of rank. They are coming off of a win against the Sacramento Kings, where they outscored them 67 to 33 in the second half to win by 25, 117 to 92. Obviously, that game they weren't, in the first half they were down by 9 at halftime, so it wasn't exactly the most convincing performance, but obviously a win is a win. Anthony Davis led the way with 25 points. He's been averaging 24 points and 10 rebounds for the season, and Dwight Howard stepped up with 13 rebounds in, that kind of backup center role. Obviously, not playing a great deal of minutes at his age now. Now, LeBron James won't be playing this game due to health and safety protocol. It's a shame because the Lakers will be missing his 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists that he brings on a night-to-night basis. Now, Russell Westbrook's had trouble keeping the ball, not turning it over. Obviously, he's trying to find his way with the offense. But just before I continue with that, I make NBA content 2 to 3 times a week. I would heavily appreciate it if you subscribe. And also, drop a like and comment who you think's going to win this game. But back to what I was saying about Westbrook. He's averaging 20.7 points and 8.6 rebounds, along with 8.6 assists and 8.2 rebounds. Sorry about that. And, he's kind of struggled to keep the ball, not turn it over. He's obviously trying to fit into a new offense and stuff where he's not one of the main focal points. Obviously, it doesn't help with LeBron James coming in and out with injuries and stuff. That is probably why the Lakers have been so stagnant offensively. Not really being able to build any consistency, which shows in them being 23rd in the league in terms of offensive rating, below teams like the Spurs, Kings, and Wizards. On defense, which was one of the Lakers' stronger areas in the last couple of years, particularly in that 2019-20 title run. They're, not so good at this year. They're currently 16th, below teams like the Spurs and Pacers. Obviously, you can only hope that improves because the Lakers can't be a mediocre team in two main areas of the game. You'd have to hope that goes up from a Lakers perspective. Now, Carmelo Anthony has been great for them, a great pickup for them, averaging 14 points and 4 rebounds, adding some, versatility as he's able to stretch the floor. Now, in addition to what I was saying before about LeBron James being injured, they'll be without Trevor Ariza, Avery Bradley, and also Kendrick Nunn. The timeline for Kendrick Nunn hasn't really been published, with Frank Vogel kind of avoiding questions about, obviously that guard. When he comes back, he'll be useful though because he shoots the ball at 37% from 3. Now, ever since the LA era, or the Battle of LA era, the last couple of years, the Lakers are currently 4-2 against the Clippers, so not exactly in the greatest form versus the crosstown rival. But obviously, as you can see, I've got the Clippers stuff on the screen now, so I'm going to talk about them for a couple minutes before I give you my prediction. So the Clippers are currently at 500 on the dot at 11 and 11. They're coming off of a loss against the Sacramento Kings. Now, they did give Paul George a rest night, so obviously they weren't really expecting to win. They were down by as much as 25 in the third quarter, but they rallied in the fourth to make it respectable, which is something, that I guess you can appreciate, the grit and grind. Now, Paul George is currently, averaging 34% usage rate, which is the 6th highest in the league and also the highest in his career. Obviously trying to fill the void left by Kawhi Leonard. He should be back from his ankle injury that they were resting him for. Obviously this is a big game in terms of the Western Conference standings right now, so it makes sense for them to bring him back in order to play. They've been kind of poor on offense, currently ranked 26th best in the league in terms of offensive rating, with only teams like the Rockets, Thunder, and Pistons being worse. Obviously, when Kawhi comes back, that'll step up. Paul George has been kind of the one consistent source of offense for them, averaging 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. So obviously finding some scoring opportunities for himself, but also creating for others, with the highest assist total on the team on a per game basis. Now, despite their struggles on offense, the Clippers are an elite defensive team, currently fourth in the league in terms of defensive rating, with only the Warriors, Suns, and Cavaliers, another surprise, being better than them. Now, for this game, the Clippers should be bringing back Paul George, as I've mentioned before, but they are going to be without Amir Coffey and also Nicholas Batum. Nick Batum's been able to give them some useful minutes, stretching the floor and averaging 9.8 points per game, so he'll be a slight miss for them. But obviously, they are pretty heavy in the forward spots, so obviously, if they're missing someone like Bledsoe or one of those guard guys, that will probably be a bit more of an issue. Now, my prediction for the game, I think that the LA Clippers will be in it for quite some time. I think that they're going to come out and really give it a crack. They've been the Lakers' bogey team no matter who's out on the floor, and I think they'll give it a real crack, but I can't go past the Lakers. Obviously, they've been underachieving this season, but you have Westbrook and Davis should be beating Paul George and Reggie Jackson. If they don't, then obviously the Lakers' woes for this season will continue, but I think that it's safe to back the Lakers. Now that does bring me to the end of the video, so if you've enjoyed it, please drop a like, it helps me out a ton. Also comment who you think is going to win. I'm more than interested to read what you guys think. And don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, it's been TPM5. Thanks.